Cadillac reportedly committed around $450 million just to secure a place on the Formula One grid. Before building a race car, hiring engineers, or signing a driver, that enormous payment bought one thing: the opportunity to compete. It was the price of entering one of the most exclusive championships in global motorsport. Toyota could have done exactly the same. For a company of Toyota's size, writing a check of that magnitude would hardly be impossible. Yet, instead of purchasing its way back into Formula One, the Japanese manufacturer has taken a path that appears far quieter and, at first glance, far less ambitious. Rather than launching a brand new works team, Toyota has gradually expanded its relationship with Haas, investing in technical cooperation, engineering resources, driver development, and eventually placing the Gazoo Racing name at the center of the team's identity. Officially, it's simply a partnership, nothing more. But when every move is viewed together instead of in isolation, a very different picture begins to emerge. So why would one of the world's largest automotive companies choose the slow road when it clearly has the resources to take the fast one? The answer may reveal a strategy that is far more calculated than most fans realize, one designed not just to return to Formula One, but to do so under conditions that maximize every competitive and financial advantage. For decades, joining Formula One was already one of the most expensive ambitions in motorsport. But today's championship has introduced an entirely new financial barrier that has changed how manufacturers think about entering the sport. When General Motors secured approval for Cadillac's 2026 Formula One entry, the company reportedly agreed to pay approximately $450 million as an anti-dilution fee. That money wasn't spent on developing an engine, building a factory, or recruiting world-class engineers. Instead, it was distributed among the existing teams as compensation for sharing Formula One's growing commercial revenue with a new competitor. It's a remarkable figure, and it reflects just how valuable a place on the Formula One grid has become. For most manufacturers, spending nearly $500 million before racing a single lap would be difficult to justify. Even for global automotive giants, such an investment requires confidence that the long-term rewards will outweigh the immediate financial commitment. But direct entry isn't the only path available. Audi demonstrated that by purchasing a controlling stake in Sauber, rather than applying as an entirely new team. Instead of starting from zero, Audi acquired an existing Formula One operation with experienced personnel, established facilities, and a guaranteed place on the grid. The strategy avoided many of the obstacles faced by completely new entrants while accelerating the company's arrival in the championship. That alternative approach has attracted attention across the paddock because it highlights an important reality. Sometimes, building influence inside an existing organization can be significantly more efficient than creating one from scratch. This is where Toyota's recent actions begin to attract serious interest. Unlike Cadillac, Toyota hasn't announced a new Formula One team. Unlike Audi, it hasn't purchased an existing organization outright. Instead, it has chosen a much quieter approach, one based on technical collaboration, shared expertise, and gradually increasing involvement. On the surface, those decisions appear unrelated, but when viewed as part of a broader strategy, they begin to raise a much larger question. Is Toyota simply supporting Haas, or is it patiently laying the groundwork for something far bigger in the years ahead? One of the biggest obstacles facing any manufacturer entering Formula One isn't finding talented engineers or attracting sponsors. It's building the infrastructure required to compete at the highest level. Creating a modern Formula One operation takes years. Teams need advanced design departments, manufacturing facilities, simulation technology, aerodynamic testing capabilities, and hundreds of highly specialized employees working together with extraordinary precision. Establishing that foundation from scratch is often just as challenging as designing a competitive race car. Toyota, however, starts from a very different position. Although the company left Formula One at the end of 2009, it never completely dismantled the technical foundation it had built. Its engineering campus in Cologne remained active, continuing to support other major motorsport programs, including endurance racing and the World Rally Championship. The facilities evolved, the personnel gained even more experience, and the organization continued operating at an elite level. That matters more than many people realize. Facilities can be upgraded, equipment can be modernized, but experience is much harder to replace. Engineers who understand high-performance vehicle development represent years of accumulated knowledge, and maintaining that expertise gives Toyota a significant advantage over any manufacturer starting from zero. This existing infrastructure also provides flexibility. If Toyota ever chose to expand its Formula One ambitions, much of the technical backbone would already be in place. Instead of investing years building an entirely new organization, the company could focus on integrating its existing resources into a larger Formula One program. That's one reason the partnership with Haas attracts so much attention. Haas brings something Toyota doesn't currently possess: an active Formula One team competing every race weekend. Toyota, meanwhile, contributes engineering expertise, technical resources, and decades of motorsport experience developed across multiple world championships. Viewed separately, each side fills a different role. Viewed together, the partnership begins to resemble two pieces of a much larger puzzle. Whether that puzzle eventually forms a deeper manufacturer program remains uncertain, and Toyota continues to insist that its current objectives are limited. But from a strategic perspective, the company already possesses one advantage that few potential newcomers can claim. It never truly lost the foundation it spent years building. And in Formula One, where preparation often begins long before any official announcement is made, that may prove to be one of Toyota's greatest strengths. In Formula One, the biggest opportunities often appear long before the first race under a new set of regulations. The manufacturers that succeed are usually the ones that begin preparing years in advance, quietly building the people, technology, and partnerships they will need when the rules eventually change. That is why so many insiders are watching Toyota's recent moves with growing interest. The championship is approaching another major technical transition, with future regulations expected to reshape both car development and competitive priorities. Every significant rule change has historically created an opportunity for teams to close performance gaps and challenge the established order. For companies considering a larger role in Formula One, timing can be just as important as investment. Rather than committing billions of dollars immediately, Toyota appears to be following a far more measured strategy. Through its expanding relationship with Haas, the company is gaining valuable experience inside a modern Formula One environment. Its engineers are learning current development processes, its drivers are becoming familiar with Formula One operations, and its technical teams are collecting knowledge that cannot be replicated through simulation alone. If a larger commitment ever comes, Toyota won't be arriving as a complete newcomer. It would already understand how today's Formula One operates from the inside. That could prove invaluable when the next regulatory cycle begins. Of course, none of this confirms that Toyota intends to become a full works team again. The company has consistently stated that its current focus remains technical collaboration and talent development. And until an official announcement says otherwise, those statements deserve to be respected. Even so, Formula One has repeatedly shown that the most important strategies are often built quietly, long before they become public. Whether Toyota's current partnership remains exactly as it is or eventually evolves into something much larger, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The company is positioning itself to keep every future option open, and in a sport where preparation defines success, that may be its smartest decision of all. At this point, there are two completely reasonable ways to interpret Toyota's return to the Formula One paddock. The first is exactly what the company has described from the beginning: a long-term technical partnership focused on engineering collaboration, driver development, and sharing expertise with Haas. If that remains the case, then Toyota has already found an effective way to strengthen its motorsport program while avoiding the enormous financial commitment of operating its own Formula One team. But there's another possibility. When you step back and look at the full picture, the engineering support, the investment in technical resources, the growing presence of Toyota Gazoo Racing, and the timing of all these developments, it becomes easier to understand why many within the Formula One community believe this partnership could represent something much larger than it appears today. No official announcement confirms that, and until Toyota says otherwise, it remains speculation. Yet, Formula One has always rewarded long-term planning over impulsive decisions. The strongest projects are often built quietly, with each small step laying the foundation for something much bigger in the future. Whether Toyota ultimately remains Haas's technical partner or eventually becomes a far more influential force on the grid, one fact is difficult to ignore. The company isn't standing on the outside looking in anymore. It's already inside the Formula One ecosystem, gaining experience, building relationships, and positioning itself for whatever opportunities the future may bring. Now the real question is yours. Do you believe Toyota is simply supporting Haas for the long term? Or is this the beginning of a carefully planned return as a full Formula One manufacturer? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more in-depth Formula One strategy breakdowns here on F1 Strategy Hub.